What's going on, everybody? It's Jay the ENTJ, and I'm going to do a semi-professional video with a toothpick in my mouth because I don't want to take it out. So there you go. Alright, so I'm going to do a video on leadership. Somebody had asked me, not asked me, asked me, right, about doing a video on leadership a little while ago. He's an ENTJ too, the younger guy. I can't remember his username now. But in any event, I'm going to attempt to give my perspective on what leadership is. You know, um, you know, from the life experience of an ENTJ, and we'll see whether anybody agrees with what I have to say or not. So I feel as though I have natural leadership qualities. I don't think a lot of people really have natural leadership qualities. I think they can be learned, but people don't have natural what I'll consider natural leadership qualities. They don't have the ability to, inspire people to do things. Most people manipulate people into doing things. They have to, promise them some shit, or something like that, or threaten them in some kind of way, and that's how they get people to do things. They put carrots and they put carrots in front of them, carrots on sticks in front of them and dangle them, or they tell them there's going to be some consequences if you don't do this. Okay, but real leaders, they inspire people to do things, and people want to do the things that the leaders ask them to do. And I haven't put myself in a lot of leadership positions per se, just by choice, but that's going to change here pretty soon. I'm going to do some different things, and I'm going to try to inspire people to better themselves in a variety of ways. And I should be able to do it. I tend to have a knack to say things that people want to listen to, depending on what it is, things that I'm really interested and passionate about, I can get people to listen to me. So, and plus I sound like I know what I'm talking about generally. So that always helps. When you're competent, that kind of helps out, so. But yeah, leadership is basically the ability to inspire people to do the things that you want them to do. And generally, good leaders have a visionary quality about them. They can kind of foresee things. They can project. They can evaluate talent, evaluate circumstances, and then get the most out of those circumstances or get the most out of people. So like if you take a manager at a store. Not all managers, for example, are good leaders. Just because you're in a position of authority, whether they be managers, owners, CEOs, executives, or whatever it is, they're not all good leaders. They just have a title. Now, some of them are good leaders, but actually, I would say the majority of them are not. They just have a position. But those leaders, the leaders that actually are there, and are doing a good job, what they do is they'll recognize people's potential. They'll recognize people's ability, and then they'll put people in the right place in order to get the job done, in the best way possible. That's pretty much, what they'll be able to do. Same thing with a coach who's able to recognize the talent on his team or her team and put those players in the best position to win. That's what good leaders can do. And then they also will motivate those people to do things that those people probably didn't even think that they could do themselves. So good leaders do that. And a great example of that, like from a basketball perspective, would be like Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson is a great leader because he inspires his players to do things that they probably didn't think that they could do themselves, and he does that in a variety of different ways. But and people always want to knock Phil Jackson and say, but he had Jordan and Pippen and he had Shaq and Kobe. Yeah, well, other people had them too, and they couldn't get the damn job done. So I don't want to hear that shit. All right, he was able to do something that those other guys couldn't do, and he's been consistent at it. And I expect him to be able to get great results with the Knicks also. Because his track record suggests that he's probably going to be able to do that. So that's the deal with that. I think that anybody who's in a a position of authority should learn leadership concepts if in fact they don't naturally have them. Of course, some people think they have them when they really don't. But if you're being honest with yourself and you know that you need some help in that area, just read some books on leadership. As a matter of fact, I'm reading a book right now called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. He's got a TED Talk video also that's pretty decent, where he's pretty much talking about the same thing. But this book is pretty good. It's a book about leadership and how leaders inspire people to do things and take action. And so it's a nice read. I recommend it for anybody who wants to increase their leadership awareness or what have you, learn some different concepts that really help you out in that area. So I would suggest that. And he's also got another book called Leaders Eat Last, I believe, and I'm going to read that after I finish Start With Why. I'm a little more than halfway done with Start With Why, and I'm going to read Leaders Eat Last next. I've got both of those. I ordered them both off of Amazon or what have you. So that's what I suggest. Me personally, like I said, I haven't put myself in a lot of positions to necessarily lead per se. When I was actually playing sports, not just retired, well, if you want to call it that, I was playing in an adult baseball league for about 10 years. I grew up playing baseball. I played high school baseball, and I played in an adult baseball league for 10 years, and I just retired last year. 2013 was my last year. I didn't really do a lot of leading on that team necessarily. I was more a lead by example person. I didn't really do a lot of talking because, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't a coach on the team, and I wanted to focus on what I was doing, which is playing. If I were actual coach on the team, my approach would be different. I would actually do a lot more talking, and people probably wouldn't even recognize me, just from the way I normally am. Because when I'm playing, I'm playing. And if I were coaching, then my motivation would be different because I'll be trying to inspire them, to go out there and do a job. I'll be putting people in the best position to win. That didn't always happen on my team. Although my coach was not bad, you know what I mean? But my coach was an ESFJ, so, he was real good at getting things done. He was real good at taking care of a lot of the details that need to be taken care of. Not necessarily great at line up the creation and things of that nature and putting people in the best position to win consistently. Struggle with that sometimes. I would have done things differently, but we still won 2 championships in my 10 years playing on the team, so it wasn't all bad. He's a real good guy, definitely. Nice guy. But yeah, so hopefully what I had to say was somewhat beneficial. If it wasn't, leave some comments. If it was, leave some comments. But I'm going to pursue some entrepreneurial endeavors, and I'm going to have a team of people around me on some level, and I'm going to try to inspire those guys to live up to their potential, and achieve goals and, maximize life fulfillment and those kinds of things. So those are my plans. And like I said, hopefully you got something out of that there. And we'll see you next time. Later.